There was 4 of us in the car, and we was driving along up to Shag Harbour, and we see some lights out of the car window. We had farther up the road, it made a 45-degree angle.
The night of October 4th, 1967, descended upon Shag Harbour, Nova Scotia, like any other. A sleepy fishing village on the edge of the Atlantic, Shag Harbour was a place where life unfolded at a slower pace. The air was crisp. The stars were vivid diamonds against the black canvas of the sky, and the rhythmic lull of the ocean waves provided a constant, comforting soundtrack. Few could have predicted that this seemingly ordinary night would become etched in the annals of Canadian history, forever linked to an event as baffling as it was extraordinary. The residents of Shag Harbour were no strangers to the sea and its capricious nature. Generations had made their living from its depths, their lives intertwined with its rhythms and moods. But the sea held more than just fish and folklore. It held mysteries that stretched beyond human comprehension. The night of October 4th was about to reveal one of those mysteries, a mystery that would captivate the nation and ignite imaginations for decades to come. As darkness enveloped the small coastal town, a sense of normalcy prevailed. Fishermen mended their nets, families gathered in their homes, and the sounds of laughter and conversation drifted through the cool night air. Little did they know that high above, an unidentified object was piercing the veil of the night, its trajectory aimed directly at their tranquil haven. The stage was set for an encounter that would challenge their perceptions of reality. The arrival of this enigmatic object was both sudden and silent, a stark contrast to the usual sounds of a maritime town. There was no roar of engines, no sonic boom to herald its descent, just a strange, ethereal glow that illuminated the sky for a fleeting moment. This otherworldly light, like a beacon from the unknown, would forever alter the destiny of Shag Harbour, transforming an ordinary night into a night forever shrouded in mystery. A group of teenagers driving along Highway 3 witnessed a fiery object plunging towards the Atlantic Ocean. Their stunned silence turned to excitement as news spread through their small town. The RCMP received numerous calls describing the event. Officers, driven by curiosity, investigated the scene. Their search marked the beginning of a decades-long quest for truth. The mystery captivated investigators, scientists, and UFO enthusiasts alike. The RCMP contacted the Canadian Coast Guard. The Coast Guard faced an unusual challenge. They dispatched a rescue boat from Clark's Harbour. The Atlantic held its breath, concealing a secret. The vessel cut through choppy waters towards the mysterious object. The crew strained their eyes, searching for any sign. The engine's drone and waves provided an eerie soundtrack. Their initial search proved futile. The ocean refused to yield its secrets. No trace of wreckage was found. The mystery deepened. The absence of proof did not quell intrigue. Eyewitness accounts pointed to a genuine event. The mystery of Shag Harbour was far from over. It was just beginning. As the teenagers watched in stunned silence, the fiery object, trailing smoke and an eerie glow, disappeared beneath the waves. The silence of the night returned, broken only by the sound of their own breathing and the distant crashing of waves. The sight was so bizarre, so out of place in their quiet corner of the world, that they questioned what they had just witnessed. Had they really seen an object fall from the sky, or was their imagination playing tricks on them? Their initial disbelief was quickly replaced by a surge of adrenaline. They spun their car around, tires spitting gravel, and raced back towards Shag Harbour, eager to share their incredible story. The rural road, normally deserted at this hour, seemed to stretch on forever as they replayed the events in their minds, each detail etched into their memories with an unsettling clarity. They knew what they had seen was real, but would anyone believe them? As they sped towards town, they passed a young couple parked on a secluded stretch of road overlooking the water. The couple, Laurie Wickens and his girlfriend, were enjoying the tranquility of the night, oblivious to the extraordinary event that had just unfolded above them. The teenagers, their faces flushed with excitement and a touch of fear, pulled up alongside the couple's car, eager to relay their incredible tale. Wickens, initially skeptical, listened intently as the teenagers, their voices breathless with excitement, described the fiery object plunging into the sea. Something in their tone, a mixture of awe and terror, convinced him that they were telling the truth. Intrigued and more than a little unsettled, Wickens and his girlfriend decided to follow the teenagers back to Shag Harbour, hoping to get some answers. Word of the strange event spread through the small community like wildfire. The teenagers became the centre of attention at the local cafe. Fishermen listened with a mix of amusement and apprehension. The story grew with each retelling. Some dismissed it as a meteor, while others whispered of UFOs. The phones at the RCMP detachment started ringing off the hook. The once peaceful night transformed into a hotbed of speculation. Clyde Cleveland, a young reporter, heard the story. He rushed to the docks, where a small crowd had gathered. Fishermen shared accounts of unusual lights and sounds. Cleveland meticulously recorded every detail. He knew this was more than just a local news story. As he listened to the witnesses, he felt he was on the cusp of something extraordinary. Responding to the numerous calls, RCMP officers, their initial skepticism replaced by a growing sense of urgency, arrived in Shag Harbour. The sight that greeted them, however, only deepened the mystery. The sea, normally a source of sustenance and serenity for the small community, lay calm and undisturbed, offering no clues to the events that had transpired just hours earlier. The officers, their faces grim, scanned the dark expanse of water with flashlights, their beams cutting through the darkness like searchlights. Despite the lack of any visible evidence, the RCMP officers took the witness accounts seriously. They meticulously interviewed the teenagers, the young couple, and other residents who claimed to have seen the strange lights. The consistency of their stories, the genuine fear in their voices, convinced the officers that something truly extraordinary had occurred. The mystery of what lay beneath the surface of the water, however, remained unsolved. Realizing the potential magnitude of the situation, the RCMP contacted the Canadian Coast Guard in Halifax. A rescue boat, its powerful engines churning the water, was dispatched from the nearby town of Clark's Harbour. The crew, their faces grim, prepared for what promised to be a long and arduous search. The vastness of the Atlantic, its depths concealing secrets untold, seemed to mock their efforts. As the night wore on, the search continued, the Coast Guard vessel a beacon of hope against the backdrop of the dark and unforgiving sea. The crew, their determination unwavering, used sonar and searchlights to probe the depths, their every movement followed by the anxious eyes of the townspeople gathered on the shore. The fate of the mysterious object and the truth of what transpired over the skies of Shag Harbour lay hidden beneath the waves, waiting to be discovered. The Coast Guard cutter arrived with urgency. The crew knew time was of the essence. The search, a race against the tide, had begun. Powerful searchlights illuminated the waters. Sophisticated sonar equipment pinged the depths. The atmosphere was tense, the crew determined. They were searching for answers. Despite their best efforts, the initial search proved fruitless. The ocean, a vast and unforgiving expanse, seemed to have swallowed the mysterious object whole. The sonar revealed nothing but the usual contours of the ocean floor. No sign of wreckage, no debris field. The mystery had only deepened. Undeterred, the Coast Guard called in reinforcements. Divers plunged into the frigid water, their underwater lamps cut through the murky depths. They descended into a world of eerie silence, their movements restricted by the bulky diving suits. The ocean floor held no answers. The divers surfaced empty-handed. The ocean was determined to keep its secrets. Back on board, the mood was somber. The failure to locate any evidence intensified the mystery. What had the witnesses seen? What had plunged into the depths off the coast of Shag Harbour that night? The questions hung heavy in the air, unanswered. Despite the lack of proof, the authorities were reluctant to dismiss the incident. The sheer number of witnesses and the consistency of their accounts pointed to a genuine event, an event that defied easy explanation. The mystery of Shag Harbour was about to become a subject of intense speculation, scientific inquiry, and enduring fascination. News of the Shag Harbour incident spread quickly, carried on the airwaves and printed in newspapers across Canada and beyond. The story, with its tantalizing mix of eyewitness accounts, official secrecy, and the allure of the unknown, captured the public imagination. Was it a meteor, a secret military experiment, or, as some whispered, an unidentified flying object from beyond our world? The Royal Canadian Air Force, initially dismissive of the incident, found themselves drawn into the unfolding drama. Under increasing pressure from the public and the media, the RCAF launched their own investigation, dispatching officers to Shag Harbour to interview witnesses and gather information. Their involvement, however, far from shedding light on the mystery, only served to deepen it. The RCAF's official statement following their investigation did little to quell the growing speculation. They concluded that there was no evidence to suggest that the object was a threat to national security, nor was there any indication that it was of foreign origin. They attributed the incident to a possible meteor sighting, or more intriguingly, an unexplained incident. This carefully worded statement, far from providing closure, only fueled the fires of speculation. The lack of a definitive explanation, coupled with the RCAF's seemingly evasive response, fueled rumours of a cover-up. Some whispered that the object was indeed a UFO, and that the government, fearing widespread panic, was deliberately downplaying the incident. Others speculated that the object was a piece of advanced technology, perhaps even extraterrestrial in origin, and that it had been retrieved from the ocean floor in a clandestine operation. The truth, shrouded in secrecy and speculation, remained elusive, adding another layer to the already perplexing mystery of Shag Harbour. As the Shag Harbour incident frenzy subsided, whispers of a second secretive operation emerged. Whispers of unusual activity near Shelburne circulated among fishermen and townsfolk. Strange lights and unidentified vessels were reported. Military convoys heading to Shelburne Naval Base fueled the rumours. Authorities remained tight-lipped, citing national security. The mystery of Shag Harbour had just entered a new phase. Shelburne, a historic port town, found itself at the centre of speculation. The town's deep-water harbour and military base fueled rumours. Unusual activity and increased security measures were reported. Fishermen were warned off certain areas. Former military personnel hinted at a clandestine operation. Authorities dismissed the rumours, but speculation persisted. The mystery of Shag Harbour remains unsolved. The USO theory suggested that the object from Shag Harbour might have come from the ocean's depths, not space. This idea tapped into primal fears of the unknown lurking beneath the surface, blending myth and reality and capturing public imagination. The mystery of Shag Harbour took an intriguing turn in the early 1980s with Canada's Access to Information Act. This legislation provided a powerful tool for uncovering the truth behind the events of October 1967. Researchers bombarded government agencies with requests, hoping to shed light on what transpired. The government eventually yielded, releasing heavily redacted documents. These documents provided glimpses into the government's response, revealing a level of interest and involvement. The mystery, far from fading, had taken on a new life, strengthened by these revelations. The government's perspective, a carefully crafted narrative. The government, under pressure, crafted a narrative to explain the Shag Harbour Incident, downplaying its significance. They claimed the object posed no threat and required no further investigation. Witnesses, however, reported erratic movements and fiery dissent, questioning the official story. The Shag Harbour Incident remains a symbol of government secrecy and UFO speculation. Unanswered questions. The enigma endures. Despite decades of research, investigation and speculation, the Shag Harbour Incident remains one of Canada's most enduring mysteries. The government's official explanation, while plausible on the surface, fails to address the many unanswered questions that continue to surround the event. The heavily redacted documents, the conflicting eyewitness accounts, and the persistent rumours of a cover-up only serve to deepen the enigma, leaving us to grapple with the unsettling possibility that we may never know the full truth of what transpired in the waters off the coast of Nova Scotia that night in October 1967. The Shag Harbour Incident, regardless of its ultimate explanation, serves as a powerful reminder of the vastness of the unknown and the limits of our understanding. It challenges us to confront the possibility that our planet, for all its familiarity, still holds secrets waiting to be uncovered, secrets that may forever elude our grasp. It is a story that continues to fascinate, to intrigue, and to remind us that sometimes the most compelling answers are the ones that remain just out of reach. The legacy of the Shag Harbour Incident extends far beyond the confines of a small fishing village in Nova Scotia. It has become a part of Canadian folklore, a tale whispered around campfires, a source of endless speculation and a testament to our enduring fascination with the unknown. It is a story that continues to be told and retold, each generation adding its own interpretations, its own theories, its own hopes and fears to the ever-evolving narrative. The mystery of Shag Harbour, far from fading with time, has become a timeless enigma, a puzzle that we may never fully solve, but one that will continue to captivate our imaginations for generations to come.
The hell, the light was in the water. The next morning, that was gone.
Fishermen, the Coast Guard, even the Navy searched for those mysterious lights. It became Shag Harbour's defining moment, the night the UFO came. Right away, it attracted world attention.
The next morning, all the top military people were here. They don't come here for something somebody's supposed to have seen.
Since then, there's been a steady stream of UFO seekers, but there were no Shag Harbour souvenirs for them, until now.
The design is, well, it has the island and the fishing boat and a little UFO.
Tiny Shag Harbour will now be identified to the world with an unidentified flying object stamp cancellation. Hundreds of people from Europe and the U.S. have sent letters seeking the special mark, a mark that commemorates forever